You can easily lose 3 hours swiping through short-form videos without a second thought. But reading a textbook chapter for 15 minutes feels physically impossible. The culprit here is dopamine, the neurotransmitter that floods your system when you experience pleasure, and your brain constantly scans your environment for the easiest, most frictionless way to get it. Our digital environment delivers constant novelty, skewing your pleasure baseline. High-effort activities like studying textbooks can't even register. But building a physical study system today recalibrates your neurochemistry, so your brain actively seeks out learning. Gather your physical items, your primary study material, a blank notebook, 3 colored pens, a physical timer, and set your phone to airplane mode. Setting up this completely disconnected, analog environment is the mandatory first step. We have to cut off the cheap supply before we can reset your internal reward system. Step 1 is the baseline reset. Before you even open your textbook, you are going to execute a strict 15-minute dopamine detox. The rules are simple. Set your timer for 15 minutes, sit in complete silence, and do nothing. No music, no screens, no reading. Just sit and look at the wall. When you try this for the first time, it is going to be incredibly uncomfortable. Your brain is used to a constant feed of input, and it will actively protest the silence. You will feel a physical urge to reach for a screen. This graph illustrates what is happening in your head. That mental discomfort is biological withdrawal. Starving your brain of high-intensity stimulation lowers your dopamine tolerance baseline. Once it drops into the receptive zone, simpler, low-stimulation tasks finally trigger reward. Now that your brain is ready to engage, step 2 is gamifying the actual workspace. The quickest way to ruin this process is to set a broad goal like read chapter 4. That kind of task requires massive effort up front with no payoff until the very end, and your brain will lose interest before you finish the first page. Instead, look at the next 3 pages of your text. Map them out in your blank notebook as tiny one-sentence microtasks. Write down actions like read intro paragraph or define concept A, and draw a small box next to each one. Physically drawing out these checkboxes transforms an intimidating block of text into a finite game. You now have clear, achievable endpoints that take only minutes to reach. Structuring your work this way engineers a continuous drip of dopamine. You deliver frequent, micro-rewards to your brain instead of forcing it to wait an hour to feel accomplished. Step 3 is execution. Set your physical timer for 25 minutes and begin the dopamine sprint. Start knocking out those microtasks one by one. As you complete them, take your notes strictly by hand. While you write, actively switch your pen colors. Use blue for a main idea, then immediately grab the red pen to emphasize the supporting detail. This physical motion, combined with the constant visual contrast, forces multiple sensory centers in your brain to fire simultaneously. The exact moment you finish a microtask, grab your pen and boldly check off the box. Make the physical mark deliberate. Then pause. Take the concept you just finished and explain it out loud, as if you were teaching it to an empty room. Forcing yourself to verbalize the information routes it through a completely different processing pathway. Proving to your brain that you actually understand the material creates a sharp internal feeling of mastery. A ticking countdown, active handwriting, visual color contrast, and spoken mastery. You have taken standard, dry study material and built an environment that actively feeds your brain the exact stimulation it craves. When your 25 minutes are up, do not leave the desk immediately. Step 4 is the curiosity connection, and it takes exactly 60 seconds. Look at the notes you just took. Write down one direct link between the academic concept you learned and your actual personal life. If you just read a chapter on biology, write down how that specific cellular process explains muscle fatigue after your last gym workout. If you are studying economics, link the supply curve to why your favorite sneaker brand just raised their prices. This final step anchors the information. It proves to your brain that this data matters to you outside of the classroom, moving the process out of a forced academic obligation and into genuine curiosity. The 60 seconds are up. Look down at your desk. You have successfully completed a dense, focused block of work, and your brain feels genuinely rewarded for doing it. Now stand up and take a strict 5-minute break. When you return, map out the next set of microtasks and repeat steps 2 through 4. Each time you repeat this detox and sprint, you are conditioning your brain to tolerate lower stimulation levels. Within 2 weeks of daily practice, the initial discomfort of the detox typically subsides, and the effort required to begin a study session decreases. After a month of consistently using this system, these transitions become more fluid. You have practiced these protocols enough that your brain begins to associate the textbook with the frequent rewards you've built into the process. In free moments, the impulse to learn starts to compete directly with the impulse to scroll. Tell me in the comments which 3 pen colors you are using for your sprint today, and make sure to hit subscribe so we can keep building the systems that take you